Welcome back. For those who have subscribed, if you're new here, please subscribe, click the notification bell, share everywhere, including your YouTube community tab. Thumb up the video, comment in the comment section, please and thank you. Sara explains that the voices told her they wanted to help and had been in town for a long time. I think the town is hell. So the voices told her they wanted to help and they had been in town for a long time, waiting for someone who could help them escape and return home. I think the voices that Sara hears are fallen angels. For channel members, I put that there's a show on Netflix. It's a miniseries called Midnight Mass. And I think that Fromville is somewhat taking elements from this type of story. From season 4 and season 5 will reveal that the backstory to From is similar to Netflix's miniseries Midnight Mass. The man in yellow is Father Paul Hill and the angel combined, with the creatures being a combination of angels and vampires. I know some of you all said they're changelings or fairy from the movie The Watchers. Could be. So it's a spoiler for the miniseries. It's actually really good. You should check it out. The arrival of a charismatic priest brings miracles, mysteries, and a renewed religious fervor to a dying town. My theory is that Fromville was a dying mine town where the mine was decommissioned and economic decline had townspeople turn to religion for help. The man in the yellow suit arrives and performs miracles and makes deals. So the boy in white could be another angel and his real image is hideous. So another man in black, and Jacob's situation with Jade being Benjamin Linus from Could Be Lost 2.0. And there isn't any saving of the children, just someone going back in time telling them they will be saved, but then whisked away like we saw Julie do in the ruins and the caves. This was before episode 10 had aired. So I'm thinking that it's kind of like Midnight Mass in that, going back to the idea of From, that the voices that Sara's hearing are fallen angels. The angel blood or vampire blood is what allowed people to heal, and all that's where all the miracles came from, is having communion, and people are drinking the blood of this angel slash demon slash vampire slash whatever it is. And that's what was healing people and performing miracles. Fromville could be a pocket universe of a higher or different dimension than From's universe, and hell could be a different dimension similar to Hellraiser and Event Horizon. When you think of hell, you're thinking of like a place you go to when you die. But just like in the movie Event Horizon, it's like another dimension and you can get there through a wormhole. Same thing with Hellraiser. Hellraiser, you do certain things, a ritual with the lament configuration, and it opens up a portal or a gateway into the dimension of hell, and you can go there and get tortured and do a bunch of stuff. And I think Event Horizon, the ship Event Horizon, went to the hell dimension of Hellraiser. I digress. So maybe From's God is similar to Leviathan and Hellraiser, and the creatures are a lower level than the Cenobites. The voices are saying that they've been there for a long time and they're trapped. They were waiting for someone that could hear them and help them escape and return home, according to Sara in the scene. So the idea of escape and return home means they're trapped. The one thing that comes to mind to me immediately was the idea of fallen angels who are trapped in hell, and home for them is heaven. And anytime the kimono woman and anyone else talks about telling people you can go home, they may be talking about going to heaven, whereas heaven is supposed to be where you're returning to when you die because you're quote unquote going home. Father Khatri is talking about book 74, and he's a Catholic priest. So that's why I pulled up 3 verses, okay, all New International Versions. So first we're going to go to 2 Corinthians 5:1. Quote, "For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands." More about going to heaven, returning home when you die. New International Version, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8. "We are confident, I say, and would prefer to be away from the body and at home with the Lord." New International Version, Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, Verse 7, and the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. The books, the chapters, the verses, they're talking about returning home, going to heaven, going to the ground. This is going home. I think this is what the voices who are fallen angels are somewhat alluding to when talking to Sara. Any other situation, that going home is going to heaven. Like they're in another dimension of a pocket universe, and they are in not the religious version of hell, but just a prison somewhat similar to hell where fallen angels are being held there and they want to be freed and go home. So Father Khatri asks her why she would believe them, and Sara answers that they told her things that they could not know, such as the 2 cars arriving on the same day, which happened before causing everyone to die due to the actions of those cars' passengers. The voices further told her that if she did as they bid, they would be safe and return home. Khatri asked her how they would return home, and Sara says she doesn't know. Khatri further asks her if she still believes them. Sara answers that they told her Nathan would be okay and begins crying. Father Khatri holds her and tells her that if the voices are real, it means that the town is communicating with her in a way that is unique to her and she's connected with it, making her extremely valuable. However, they need proof for Sheriff Boyd that the voices are not just the product of a troubled mind. Sara then cries out in pain and shouting no as Father Khatri helplessly looks on. Sara asks for a piece of paper because the voices want her to show him something. So the voices can do more than communicate. They can force her to write and stuff. Out in the forest, Jim fiddles with the radio at the base of the tree. He is seemingly able to get a signal and asks if anyone's out there. In the diner, Jade obsessively draws the symbol he saw on the tree with Tien Chen approaching him with tea, which he rudely dismisses. Tien Chen speaks to him in Cantonese, and Jade relents and sips his tea, thanking her. Tien Chen notices the symbol on the paper, and Jade begins to explain that he keeps seeing the symbol, but Tien Chen leaves for the storage room. Jade follows her inside, and he realizes that it is all the belongings of all the former inhabitants. And I still think that it's the former belongings of both him and Tabitha and all of their failed cycles trying to get up out of Fromville. Tien Chen finds a box and begins sifting through before finding a journal whose pages are covered in the same symbol Jade was drawing, scaring him. Yeah, don't be scared now, Jade. In the church basement, Sara draws on a piece of paper, begging the voices to stop. When she is done, she hands him the drawing, explaining that they said when Khatri arrived, they watched him bury the bag, asking if he knows what it means, shocking the priest. So in his room, Boyd looks through his drawers before finding his baseball mitt. Boyd goes to Kenny's home, where he finds Kenny carving chess pieces. Boyd asks Kenny to play catch with him, but Kenny is not interested. Boyd explains that he played first base in college and had a chance of going pro. Kenny asks what happened, and Boyd replies that life, as always, had other plans. Boyd admits to Kenny that he has Parkinson's disease. He explains that it has already begun chipping away at him, and eventually he will not be able to protect the townspeople. Thus, he has to find a way out while he still can, but he can only do this knowing that it will be in good hands. Boyd praises Kenny, telling him that there are many in town who are alive because of him, and while his father is not around to say it, he, like Boyd, is proud of him. Boyd adds that if he is not ready and needs more time, he will stay. Kenny then rises and asks him if they are playing catch or not, and Boyd follows him out. Jim returns home only to find the hole in the wall. Ethan then emerges from the basement with a bucket of dirt, explaining that his mother had told him to bring it outside. Jim descends and finds Tabitha digging a hole in the basement floor. Jim informs his wife that he was able to get some static on the radio, which she interprets as a good sign. She then explains that she is searching for the source of the electricity, given the lack of power lines or wires, and that all the cords simply lead straight down. Jim asks her to stop digging and asks what is going on. Tabitha stops and asks Jim if he remembers the bracelet she made him out of the laces from his father's boots from earlier in the relationship and how he lost it in the hospital the night Julie was born. Tabitha then directs Jim's gaze towards the shelf where she has put the bracelet. Jim simply believes the bracelet is similar to the one she made for him, but Tabitha insists it is the same. Tabitha points out a mistake in the bracelet from when she made it, which caused her to worry, but Jim simply said accidents are the best part at that time. Tabitha asks him why he said that, and he answers that they make it one of a kind. Jim insists that it's impossible, but Tabitha counters that no part of their situation makes sense, and while they may not be able to find out how the bracelet arrived in town, they can find out where the wires go. Jim then tells her to give him a shovel. Jim is in it at this point. Please subscribe, click the bell, ding the dong, bing the bong, all that great stuff. Share everywhere, including our YouTube community tab. Please and thank you. And also, if you want to donate, you could donate through Super Thanks. That is located where the subscribe button is. And also, you could donate with Cash App. That is $Spade Parkland. And also, you could join the channel membership by clicking the join button near the subscribe button. I do weekly live streams for channel members. So join that if you want to be a part of the channel member live stream. Father Khatri digs and finds a bag containing a bottle of alcohol, a blood-stained tab collar clergy shirt, and a Cosmo chocolate bar whose logo matches the drawing Sara made at the voice's direction, leaving him stunned. So soul trapping is the art of taking a creature's soul upon death and confining it. I think it also would work for humans, especially in the universe of From. This can happen if the soul was not able to process and heal from the trauma before it died. Father Khatri blames himself for a boy in Father Khatri's congregation wanted to stay a little bit longer, but Father Khatri said, you gotta go. Father Khatri went by the boy's house. The mother ran outside screaming. Father Khatri went into the home and found the boy deceased in his father's hands, and the father was drunk. So Father Khatri blames himself for the boy's death. Father Khatri beat the boy's dad until his tab collar clergy shirt was filled with blood. And this alludes to him taking the father's life, even though it's not actually said. He probably took the bottle of alcohol from the dead dad and contemplated ending it all until he heard the voice of God, according to Father Khatri, which was probably the voices of the fallen angels of Fromville. And again, that's who I think are the residents in Colony House and the town, or it could be the crows. Could be either one. One of the creatures slicing his neck allowed Fromville to control his soul or projection after he died. And that's because he was feeling guilty of blaming himself, being weak-minded, having mental illness, and vulnerable, and believing the voices after Sara drew the picture of what Father Khatri buried in the field. You already know. Kevin, he goes by everybody who's passed out from having fun. Kevin goes upstairs. Kevin chooses to not have fun like everybody else. He's probably an incel, distant, introvert, mental illness, bullied when he was young. All the signs of someone who's a troubled mind. He creeps upstairs, creeps and creeps and creeps. He kind of has that look like he's an internet troll. Kevin walks through Colony House while everyone's asleep. He goes upstairs and opens a window curtain. Guess who he finds?
Simping activate.
You can't let a pretty face fool you, Kevin.
Would you ever think that this innocent little face could do anything to hurt you? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Because that's how we get you.
That's how they get you. Fellas, that's how they get you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and all the theories. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.